New music from Prince will come out this summer, 5 years after his death. Prince started his Welcome to America tour in 2010, but he never released any songs from the album of the same name. So now we are hearing it for the very first time.
There you go, enjoy your tour. This is where the parties would happen. So.
Now a museum, Paisley Park wasn't just where Prince worked, he lived above the shop so he could make music anytime inspiration struck, which was basically always.
This is my favorite room, man.
The Prince estate invited us inside Studio B. We sat at Prince's soundboard with his longtime keyboardist and musical director, Morris Hayes.
I had to ease into it, you know.
He gave us a preview of that missing album, Welcome to America.
And the free, home of the brave. Oops, I mean, and the free, home of the slave. Get down on your knees. Hit me. Welcome to America.
Deliriously versatile, Prince wrote the songs, sang the songs, and played most instruments. He asked Hayes to add production value.
Like he said, man, here's the record. I want you to overproduce it. Anything I don't want, I'll take it away.
So now we want to bring in Billboard editor-at-large Joe Levy. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe. So we heard part of the song Welcome to America in that 60 Minutes piece. The lyrics are political, which is not particularly unusual for Prince. One of the lyrics is, "Truth is the new minority." Now, he wrote this like 10 years ago, I think, right? Before we were familiar with the phrases like fake news and misinformation and disinformation campaigns and you know, alternative facts and all that sort of stuff. What is it about Prince's music that seems to hold up over time? Because I know one of your observances is that the politics still, it could be a commentary on what we're witnessing today as much as it was a commentary 10 years ago.
You know, that's an interesting point. Prince, of course, was a musical visionary. We talk a little bit less about him being a political visionary, yet this song from 10 years ago could come out right now. He's talking about technology, and there's a lyric, "Break up the monopolies." He talks about taxes, says there'll be no new taxes, and then undercuts that by talking about taxes on cigarettes and gas. This is actually a progressive political point that could come from Bernie Sanders. So he's not just talking about racism. He's not just painting in broad strokes. This is an interesting and deep song. We caught up to him musically through the 80s, through the 90s, and we're still catching up to him now. Maybe we need to catch up to him lyrically and politically as well.
Prince did not leave a will or any instructions about whether or not he even wanted the music in his vault to be released. I know it is a tremendous responsibility, those who are left behind, to sort of manage the image of an icon like Prince. And typically it means, you know, really controlling what music gets out there or what images get out there. Do we know anything about the process of releasing this music, why we're hearing it now? Were there thoughts about which songs to release and which ones not to release? Like, you don't want to tarnish all that he built over his career.
No, of course not. And the estate is in part, these decisions are in part being made by Troy Carter. Troy Carter is a music manager who worked with Lady Gaga. He's worked at Spotify. He's well respected in the industry. And yet, we are talking about Prince. Prince is someone who was, let's put this kindly, a control freak. He made his music by himself. Often there was no one else involved. And he fought very hard to win back the rights to his music. He didn't leave instructions, and he didn't release any of this archival music during his own lifetime, unlike a lot of other artists we can think of, classic rock artists like Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan, who have turned to their archives for many years. So I think it's an open question. People are trying to act with his best interests and trying to guess his intentions, but I think it's an open question whether he wanted us to hear this music and how he might have wanted us to hear it.
Well, we're gonna hear it, and I know the fans are going to be very grateful for the opportunity to get a little bit more of him. Joe Levy, thank you so much.
Thank you.